Hello everyone. Welcome to the CESA e-course on the topic of the planning and implementation of e-mobility. My name is Shruti Shrestha. I'm a senior researcher at Bhupatal Institute. As we all know, EVs come in all forms and sizes comparable to conventional vehicles, ranging from small two and three-wheelers to buses as shown here. In today's context, e-mobility has the potential to address the growing mobility needs in cities, yet reduce some of the negative externalities produced by conventional vehicles, such as greenhouse gas emissions. E-mobility plays a key role in decarbonizing transport. It might not solve the congestion problem, but will complement to cities' actions on promoting walking, cycling, and public transport. Promoting e-mobility also contribute directly to achieving Sustainable Development Goals, including SDG 13 on climate action and SDG 3 on good health and well-being. Some of the core benefits of e-mobility are to reduce carbon emissions, as mentioned earlier, and improve air quality, which refers to no tailpipe emission due to internal combustion engine and associated positive health impact. Dependence on imported fossil fuel will also be reduced and will incentivize clean energy for charging. Likewise, this will improve the trade balance and create green jobs. However, EV implementation is complex and is more than vehicles. To shift our conventional mobility to e-mobility sector, there is a need for integrated energy sector and mobility sector with the involvement of various stakeholders that includes governments, energy providers, ICT, vehicle manufacturers, and transport operators. Many countries and cities express the barriers to e-mobility adoption. On technical issues, pointing at the lack of charging infrastructure and standards, inadequate financial incentives on the regulation, people are not well aware of e-mobility and have range anxiety due to the lack of charging points. And last but not the least, high upfront cost and the lack of proper market or business model for EVs. So, proper planning and implementation of EVs in cities is required to tackle those barriers. Now I'm going through the key consideration for planning and implementation of EV, starting with the regulation and policy needs. On the national and local government level, an enabling policy and regulatory reform for EVs needs to be established, such as by setting guidelines for the EV operation and also developing interoperability standards for networks, components, and charging system. The provision of financing incentives accelerates the uptake of EVs. A good example is FAME, or faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles in India, which provided almost 300 million euros and targets to electrify thousands of buses and light-duty vehicles. In Bangladesh, there is a provision of 10 years tax holiday for local EV manufacturing and assembling. Another consideration is to integrate e-mobility into the urban mobility planning process. The picture on the left side is the Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan or SUMP process. Various SUMPs have been developed in different regions and countries as a guiding document. For example, European SUMP, Singapore's Land Transport Master Plan 2040, and India's Comprehensive Mobility Plan. The next is a planning for an adequate EV charging system in the country. The availability of chargers at various locations with the right charging speed needs to be planned. As shown in the picture on the top, for private vehicles, home charging would suffice for a few days depending on the travel distance, but intercity travel requires charger at the highway, preferably a higher speed one. Similarly, commercial or public transport fleet also seek for a high-speed charging at public locations. For light electric vehicles, battery swapping is a good option. It involves a standard removable battery pack at the particular station. This reduces vehicle range anxiety as well as cost of owning battery pack. A cleaner energy or renewable energy for charging EV is important, considering the life cycle impact of EVs. The use of off-grid solar energy for charging is a good case as shown in the pictures. Even bus fleets can be integrated into renewable electricity planning. The buses can be charged at night in depot, where they can use stored renewable energy generated at low demand times of the day. In Shanghai, as shown in the picture on the right, PVs on the roof are installed to charge e-buses. The excess generated energy can be fed into the grid. With this, Shanghai e-buses travel 150,000 kilometers per year. In terms of investment opportunities for stakeholders such as owners, operators, and investors, a viable business model is crucial. A viable business model must provide value to customers that is higher than the cost for providing it and then capture the difference. Business models unleash technology's inherent value with different degree of efficiency and with different characteristics. For financing e-mobility, there is a need to take different concerns from stakeholders into account, such as from auto industry, energy system, city government, and transport industry. Various studies also show that the total cost of ownership is lower for EVs compared to the conventional ICE vehicles. Regarding an example of the total cost of ownership with the comparison of electric bus and diesel bus in the left graph, yes, the upfront or the capital cost of electric bus is high compared to the diesel bus, but in the long run, including operating and health external cost, it comes out to be cost effective. The graph on the right side also shows that the total cost of ownership for electric three-wheeler is lower compared to the gas, petrol, and diesel three-wheelers in India. Lastly, building technical capacities for the operation and maintenance of EVs as well as for local manufacturing is a need. For this, training for technicians and drivers and awareness raising for general public are to be arranged. An example of promotion and awareness raising is the initiative led by Delhi government named Switch Delhi, which provides necessary information and addresses queries raised by the citizens and other stakeholders. Further knowledge on EV technical operation, policies, and finance, the e-mobility toolbox developed on the Solutions Plus project would be helpful, as you can see the screenshot of the tool in the middle. Just to conclude, creating an optimal operating environment and planning is important to enhance the uptake of EVs that involve stakeholders' collaboration, supportive policies, adequate charging infrastructure, technical capacity, and public awareness. Here are a few references for further reading. In the next slide, my colleague Judith Oingar from UN Habitat will take you to two case examples of implementation of EVs in Rwanda and Kenya. Thank you very much.
My name is Judith Owiga, an electric mobility specialist at UN Habitat, and I'm going to take you through two case studies on creating an optimal environment to enhance the uptake of electric vehicles. So the first case study we're going to look at is Ampersand Rwanda. Ampersand has developed an electric motorbike that is designed with taxi drivers in mind. Together with GIZ, UN Habitat, and UMI, Ampersand developed a training program for women who are underrepresented in the motor taxi industry in Rwanda. 35 women were trained in the program, and 24 e-motors were handed to the ones who graduated from the course. Below are the lessons learned in carrying out this program. Understand the success and failures of previous gender-inclusive mobility projects. Implementers should provide conducive training environment for the women that takes into account their dynamic needs. Build a safe environment for the women to use the vehicles and track the perceptions of the women drivers and their customers as the project progresses. Finally, encourage peer learning between cities, companies, and the women. The second case study we are going to look at is the county of Kisumu in Kenya. The city of Kisumu is a rapidly urbanizing city in Kenya. Previously, conventional planning solutions have focused more on addressing the needs of motorists, neglecting the needs of pedestrians, cyclists, and public transport. The Kisumu Sustainable Mobility Plan recognized that integration of land use and transport planning is fundamental to improving the quality of life for Kisumu residents. Together with the Kenya Living Lab partner Wetu, the county government of Kisumu is supporting the implementation of e-mobility projects under the CESA project, thus creating a conducive policy environment for the uptake of EVs. Thank you for taking the time to go through this course on electric mobility, and I hope it proves to be beneficial to your sustainable mobility initiatives.